of what we're seeing in the world is gaming the system. The level of abuse that we see is obviously gaming the system. And again, they've even articulated, we'll make babies and take over your country. I mean, what more do you need? Again, they're going to say that I'm racist or something. But as we don't want them gaming the system, we don't want to game them if they're actually contributing to society at the level that they try to represent now. And obviously, it's a scam. So if we have somebody who has a work visa and they're working, I'm leaning towards at least 7 years, but anything between 5 and 10, whatever they decide, that starts the point of birthright citizenship. But it doesn't mean chain migration either. So if somebody's performing a useful function, and again, that could be part of it, that ICE gets to decide whether they're actually who they say they are. It's not an automatic thing. And it isn't citizenship for the parent or anything like that. So it's somewhere like 7 and 8 years of service to the nation as a agricultural specialist, quote unquote, or something like that. You let them have that birthright citizenship right because they've established domicile, and they're actually here based upon something we need. So we don't want to game them and say you get nothing. But I think if we get back to the normal side of immigration, you'll find that those people apply for citizenship and start moving through that process. And we don't have a trillion people that we need to get rid of because it's just way too much for our system to absorb without crazy shit like Sharia law in New York. You will listen to prayers 3 times a day. That's Sharia law. I'm just telling you. It's already in New York. If you're forcing people in the Bronx, if you're forcing people in Queens to listen to Islamic prayer 3 times a day, then Sharia law is already in New York City. And of course you are. Oh, you can call it something else. That's the whole deep state scam. Kristi Noem is compromised when the people that did it to her are actually compromised and they're still working in DHS, and you need to find them, Mullen, and you need to do them dirty, and dirtier than they have ever been. Then the deep state learns that way. Not telling you to violate law, but do them rough. In fact, the Republican Party should be looking for. In fact, if the Republican Party was what it was supposed to be, Rick Henry would have been put in prison. That's what would have happened. And of course, what do you expect out of shitty Maryland? Right? Because they were destroying the party for foreign powers. How about that? For starters. Right. And techies who work for foreign powers because they're extorted. And some of them are H-1B mania. We'll take over through H-1B. Going to run around and run Kristi Noem to the ground like they're somebody because they sell out and get to stay. Pieces of shit. Guarantee they were broadcasting Kristi Noem's information to the deep state, including times here, times there, her whereabouts, her husband's whereabouts. Could be a section of CIA that was actually used to do it. CIA toolkit could have been used to do it. They scam you about who it was released to and who has it. They say, oh, somebody stole it. So anywhere you find it, it was stolen. Ooh, what was us? Right, Brennan? Extorting the House and the Senate via break into their computers. Treason and espionage. That's what Brennan's guilty of. But beyond the financial crimes and the fraud. I saw the change. I know what you did. Broke in and extorted everyone. Brennan is one of the communist fathers of the extortion of government employees in the House and the Senate. But of course, he's not very communist, is he? Stealing all that money and working for capitalistic gain. It's like every other socialist has ever been. Oh, you young people told me it was something different these days. Find out you're stealing from millions and millions and millions of dollars from these programs. Took somebody like whatever his name is over there to actually investigate it. But yes, be careful because next thing you know, they'll be you're calling him a stalker, right? Which I think they already tried. Right? So again, we don't want to game people that are real. I mean, we need to reduce the numbers, and then we can get back to real immigration. And that's the point. You got to bring that up to the Supreme Court. That through errors, not errors again. They want to say that through criminal activity in government. I mean, obviously Biden could go to prison for what they did. So could that secretary. And again, you can't prosecute every crime, but you could. Maybe you could. I don't know what evidence you have. Right. But again, the Supreme Court has to understand that just because a president and his administration committed crimes, it doesn't mean that we just let it happen. Again, I think birthright citizenship is pretty self-explanatory. And again, if you didn't abuse the system, nobody would even be thinking about it. Socialism, they understand there was corruption. And next thing you know, all the socialists are corrupt all over again. And they're the biggest capitalists in the world. They're so freaking corrupt. They're so capitalist. They're fascist kleptocrats. There's nothing socialist about being a fascist kleptocrat. I mean, what does socialism actually mean? 90% for me, 10% for you? No, not really. Again, as far as this socialism, still doesn't exist. It's failed. It's banana republic, kleptocratic, crony capitalism. Well, there's reality, truth, not partyism. Where the hell my plates go? Where my paper plates go? Use them all up? I don't think so. Can't find my paper plate. Strange. Yeah, I did. It's not making sense. Get that more time here. I have to use something else. There was a plate over here. I must have used them all up. That's a shame. I didn't catch it. It's probably them. All right, stay peaceful. We don't want to game them. We definitely don't want them gaming the system the way they're gaming it. They're getting rewarded for crime. No wonder they commit crimes. Again, if they commit deep state crimes, the deep state brings them in and gives them stuff. Stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.